Hi everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Andy Farber, composer, arranger, conductor, and saxophonist. Andy teaches composition and arranging at the Juilliard School and Purchase College and is director of the BMI Jazz Composers Workshop. Andy is here to show us some different approaches to Tutti voicings.
Thanks, Dan. Well, what is a Tutti voicing? And it's usually the kind of voicing that might be four-part harmony or four-part harmony with doubled lead that is present in both brass and saxophone sections simultaneously. I suppose it could be brass with woodwind doubles added on top of them in the same voicing that could be an octave apart or in the same octave. So today I wanted to talk to you about four-part harmony with doubled lead in one octave. And this is a common sound that we hear frequently, particularly in the classic arrangements from the swing era through today. And you would hear them in arrangements by Quincy Jones and Billy Byers and Manny Albam and Al Cohn. And each arranger, composer kind of has a slightly different scheme of doing this. So sometimes you hear a Tutti voicing where there's 5 brass and 5 saxophones playing the same exact voicing in the same range. Sometimes those 5 brass can be 3 trumpets and 2 trombones, or it can be 2 trumpets and 3 trombones, also doubled with 5 reeds. And there's different variations of that. For example, the Ellington and Strayhorn sound sometimes would have one voice playing the top, usually a trumpet, with the middle voices doubled and possibly one voice playing the bottom, meaning the top part doubled down the octave. So you could have a solo trumpet on the top, and then the middle 3 voices would be brass and saxophones, and the bottom voice may just be, let's say, baritone saxophone. So here are a few examples of what that sounds like, and I've done this. A 4-part Tutti passage with 4 saxophones, in this case, 1 alto, 2 tenors, and 1 baritone, and 5 brass, in this case, 2 trumpets and 3 trombones. The top voice in this one is played alone by the trumpet, and the inner voices are all doubled. The lead voice down the octave is also doubled in this one. And this is from an original piece called Cork Grease and Valve Oil from my new recording, Early Blue Evening. Now, here's another variation. Here's a 4-part harmony passage, doubled lead down the octave, that has 3 trumpets, 2 trombones, and all the parts are doubled in saxophones, 2 altos and 2 tenors, except for the top part, which is just trumpet. One of the reasons I like to do this is because you can have an orchestral sound where everything in the voicing is doubled, but by leaving a single player on the top, that gives the lead trumpet player the opportunity to put a little grease or a little vibe on the top note without having to coordinate that with a counterpart in the saxophone section. And it also has a little bit more intimacy because you have that individual player's sound on the top rather than a more orchestrated sound. But because the inner parts are all orchestrated with a saxophonist and a brass player, they are more transparent. In this case, those Tutti voicings were used as interstitial material to support the soloists. In this case, the piece Cork Grease and Valve Oil is a concerto grosso. It features a tenor saxophone and a trumpet as the featured soloists who play most of the melodic material, and that's supported by Tutti voicings in 4-part harmony with double lead, just like we heard. Now, there's another variation on the 4-part harmony Tutti voicing a sound that's more associated with Ellington, and this would be 4 trumpets and 4 saxophones playing the same voicing. Here's a piece, a blues called Don't Tell Me What to Do, and it has a melody played by 4 trumpets and 4 saxophones. The 4 trumpets have 4-part harmony in closed position, right? And then there's 4 saxophones that double everything except the top note. So if only the first trumpet plays the melody, that's doubled down the octave by a baritone saxophone, and the middle voices are doubled by 2 altos and 1 tenor saxophone and the rest of the trumpets. The reason we do that is, again, a solo voice on the top that could bend notes, put some grease on it, and at the bottom, the middle sounds, the middle notes are more orchestral in nature, so they're more transparent. And I left one of the saxophones out because it needs to play the clarinet. In this case, it's Dan Block, who plays some fills in between on the second chorus, and lead clarinet to answer this tutti section. I find that these kind of tutti voicings are a nice sound that could work in between phrases that are all in unison or octaves, or other phrases that are fully voiced out for the entire wind section. So this is something that can be a little bit more compact. And when using diatonic harmony with passing diminish, you could be more agile than using richer, denser harmony. And it also makes your richer and denser harmony more effective.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head over to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.